Morning everybody and welcome back to Panther Pop's Crafting Joyful Moments, aka me, Helen Armstrong from Wilmslow in Cheshire. Today I'm going to show you a couple of cards made with these, get my words out, made using the scrapbooking workshop Lovely Florals from Stampin' Up. This is currently on last chance. It is a beautiful one to get. The papers are absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, so this is what we're making. But first of all, just turn that over. I thought I'd share with you what I've made this week. So I made a couple of template cards based on the same design, slightly different. I made a simple card which was using the Wink of Stella. I'm not sure whether you can pick that up, using a Wink of Stella. So it was a big stamp. It's off big floral stamp at the moment. I just fussy cut rounded after colouring it in and then also stamped on the envelope. And then this one was one I did last week but I didn't share, and this was using shaving foam and blue ink for a background. And this one, I've got dimensional backing stuck to it, is one I made for Simple Made Saturday yesterday. The video is on YouTube. And this is just using one big stamp, cutting it up into panels and then adhering it. We're just about to get a visit from my cat. Good morning, Twinkle. Hello. All right, okay, there's nothing I can do quite now. I'm in the middle of my video. All right, you take care, Twinkie. I think she's just going to keep on wanting to craft with us this morning, but let's see if we can put her on the floor. Yeah. Okay, off you pop. So as I say, we're using the Lovely Florals today. And I'll just quickly show you the two cards that I did yesterday. But we're using a different colourway today. It'll be interesting to see what you think, which you prefer. So these were the two yesterday. We did a bit of ripping of paper. Added a nice ribbon. This one, we chopped a little bit off the end of the card. And added some dimensionals. Now these were dimensionals that I coloured, and I'll show you those in a bit as well. Okay, so we're going to be predominantly using the cutouts, maybe a couple of stickers from the sticker sheet, and we're going to build and see what we create this morning. So let's get the main bits that we need. Just going to move all those off to one side. And that is the sticker sheet that comes with the Lovely Florals. We might actually use this one. I do like that, but we'll see. Okay. Must get my card blank. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to layer our paper. So the first, I'm using a 6x6 card, and my first layer is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 of an inch. Okay. I'm just going to grab our glue and let's stick this on. So the colours that I'm predominantly using, this is gorgeous, this is Timid Tiger. I think I might make another couple of cards using that as the background because it is stunning. I do love mono printing, which is putting a darker of the same colour. So that's our first layer. If you just excuse me just for 2 seconds, I'm just going to run the cat out the door. Hi guys, sorry for that brief delay. When I say run her out the door, I didn't mean that. She's just put her out so and closed the door so she can't come back in. Okay, next layer is our berry burst, and this layer is 5.5 by 5.5. We're going to layer this one up. So we've been using the 12 by 12 paper to create these layers. So there are some offcuts which we're going to use on the inside and possibly on the outside of the card. Okay, and our final layer is from a sheet of 12 by 12 which had lots of different patterns on, but I love this pattern. And this is 5 by 5, so we're going to have a slightly larger border around. I do have other glue, but I like getting the best, as much glue out as possible. Make sure that's the right way around. If you're using paper which is directional, just make sure when you're adhering it to your card that it is the right way around. Just going to wiggle that a little bit. Okay, so that's our base for our card. The next thing we're going to use is some of the cutouts that come from this set. I'm actually going to, I think, use two. Lay one on top of the other. I think that's what I'm going to do. These are very quick and simple to make using the scrapbooking set. Obviously, there are loads of different papers, scrapbooking kits that Stampin' Up do sell. And obviously you will have some paper in your own paper stash. So I'd encourage you to use that first. I don't know whether anyone else is as guilty as I am for hoarding paper. I hoard paper and then forget that I have it, unfortunately. And I hoard the paper because it's so beautiful and I don't want to use it. But paper's there to be used. There's no point in it sitting in a file waiting for the best project to use it on, because when you come up with that best project you'll forget that you actually have that paper. I'm just going to try and match that on there. Okay, and then we're going to add some dimensionals to this as well. Let me just get my glue scissors. I have 3 sets of scissors on the go. One for cutting stickers and sticky bits. One for just cutting paper, and also one for cutting ribbon. Never waste these bits on the dimensionals. They can always be used. I'm just tucking that in. Okay. Just going to bring that down here, nice to mimic the flowers in the background. Okay, I really like that. And now I'm going to we have some paper. And well, I didn't do this one. I didn't rip the paper on the first thing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this to the inside. But I think I'm going to do it lengthways round. Oh, I don't know. Do I want to just have a plain to pick up and then maybe trim that to it? Oh, I think, you know, that's what I'll do. I change every time. So it's currently, I think, 1 inch. Let's do that to 1/2 inch using our paper trimmer. You know, I did think having shorter nails might make it easier to pick up and card and things, but I don't think it's made any difference. So I think I will end up going back to my longer nails. although I do love this cat eye colour thing going on. The nail tech who does my nails loves the fact that I get a different colour each time, and would normally take a picture of my hands after they've done the work, but categorically stated because my nails were short, it didn't look as good as normal, so there was no point in me taking a picture. Them taking a picture and putting it on their socials. Oh, that's a bit wonky, didn't do that very well. Why I'm using the sticky scissors, that's not helping. Okay, let's see if I can just even that up a little bit. And we're going to stick that on, that's better. A little bit more dimension. I've just realised I've used the dark side of the Berry Burst. Oh, I think has my glue finally given up? Oh, no, a little bit left. This is where you're all shouting, store it upside down, store it upside down. Yeah, I will. I've put it upside down. Yeah, that just gives a little bit of interest to the inside of the card. And as you see, I've used the light Berry Burst and then the dark Berry Burst. Maybe that wasn't the best idea, but it's done now, it's stuck. So the last thing we need for this particular card is a sentiment. And I'm just going to actually use from the product of the month from January. This was Fabulous Sayings. In fact, do I want to use that or shall I use... Oh, you know what? I'm going to actually use a sticker from the sticker sheet. And I'm going to use Happy Day. This is what I could do with my tool to pick it up. And we've actually got lines that we can add it to. Yeah, very happy with that one. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some embellishments. So I actually coloured our antique pearls yesterday with Timid Tiger, Pretty Peacock and Berry Burst. I'm just going to pick up 3 Berry Burst. There we go. Just to finish off that card. Now we do have envelopes, and what you can do is we can use a piece of paper and we can just put a tab on the envelope at the bottom if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that right now because just to save some time. So that's our first card. Loving the colours. I'm not sure whether you will love the colours, but let's go with that one. Okay, so the second card we're going to make this morning, all I've done, I'll explain when I get all the bits. So, all I did on this 6x6 card was trim 1 inch off the side of the front panel, and then I cut the designer series paper down as well. So we went from our background, so we went from having a 5 in a so we've now got a 5 3/4 in length by a 4 3/4 panel, and that fits on there quite nicely. Turning my glue upside down didn't really help, but let's keep going with that. I do love the back of that paper. Okay, so we're going to layer this on. And then our berry burst layer is, instead of being, I think it's 5.5, it's now 4.5 by 5.5, which layers nicely. Again, I'm using the light side of the berry burst two-tone cardstock. You're all shouting at me now, give the glue up, get a new one. Yeah, I didn't centre that as well as I could have done. Back to being me. Oh, let's measure our final layer, sorry. So the final layer is 5 by 4. Again, making sure that it's the right way up. Okay. Then what we're going to do is, I hadn't decided whether we put that paper as our layer or the green, sorry, the pretty peacock. And if we do the pretty peacock, we're going to have a little slight border around, which is quite nice. I think I'm going to go for the pretty peacock. I apologise if it's not the one you'd have gone for. But I do like my greens. Just opening the card up so I can border it correctly. So give that a little bit of a border. When we cut it, when we close it, that's what it looks like. Right, okay, so now we're going to add, and I'm going to go for the big sticker flower. And I'm just going to stick it straight on with this one. Yeah, I quite like that. Okay. This time we're going to do it, I'm going to stamp an embellishment. It's an embellishment, stamp a sentiment. Let's pick up our, I think I might use Sending Love. Sending Love. Okay, so let's get our block. Oh, I don't know where one of my blocks is. Okay, let's improvise and go with this one. I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. I'm just going to stamp it up. Stamp it off. I have to say one thing about having the short nails is I'm not sticking my fingers in ink anywhere near as often. Okay, happy with that. Yeah. Do we back it? Do we back it? We possibly do back it, I think. Right, let's cut it first though. I didn't cut that very straight again, did I? Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it in the very burst. So instead of backing it, I'm going to bring in very burst. Let me just get a dark brush. I'm blending off, and all I'm going to do is just go around the edges of this. Okay. Actually, I need the very best in the floral. I might decide to add some different things to it. Okay, happy with that. So we're going to get our dimensionals again. I'm going to layer it there. Okay. Do we add some ribbon, or should we just add our sentiments? I think let's just add our sentiments. No, sorry, sentiments, our embellishments. Oh, I would love a brain that worked today. Wrong side again. Would love a brain that is working today. Picking that one up. I need some more putty. I just needed some more putty. Yeah. Never like it when I line it up, that's better. Okay. Okay, so now that is that card done. Now what you could do is what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to pick up our Wink of Stella. I'm just going to make sure that I've got no previous ink on it. And I'm just going to go and pick up that darker flower in the middle, just to give it a little bit of shimmy. Yeah, picks it up quite nicely. Okay, so there we go, using a scrapbook, Lovely Florals Scrapbook set to make some cards. I've just knocked the other ones off the table, so let me just get those. Okay, so which ones do we like the best then? Do we like purple and green, which are rather nice? I do like those. Or are we more, so are we a pretty peacock and a berry burst? Or more of a timid tiger? Let me know in the comments. It would be great to find out. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday and enjoy. And take care, everyone. Hopefully next week my desk will not be as clipped and as messy, but you know me, it always will be. I can't help it. All right, everybody, craft your joy.